Good morning. Good morning. This is the All In Within Mastermind. It is the end of April 2024. We're going to get into a topic today. It's a good one. It's the power of choice and making your choices and coming up with your own decisions to move forward in life. So every day we're put on a path, and that's all it is. That's all it is making choices, that are going to either propel you forward or set you back. Because every choice you make affects your progress. It affects every facet of your near future. So, for me, making the choices, and when you come up with certain goals and ideas, the choice that you make to actually accomplish that. So I'm going to go around the room for a quick check-in. We have Kevin Chop Shop, we have Brandon Angel, we have AK, and we have Aaron Roberts with the Fire Within Fitness. So the power of choice and making decisions on a daily basis that really propel you forward. Or you're gonna make a choice that's gonna set you way back, and we know all about that. And now we're in this group, and all of our choices that we make are, positive choices that put us in the best direction, right? So go ahead, Brandon Angel, power of choice.
Oh, here we go. I mean, it could be semantically said that you choose to get up in the morning, right? As well as you choose the lifestyle that you want, as well as you choose to have discipline, as well as you choose to be successful. As Kevin said before, the steps are there. You choose to have faith that it works out in the end. You choose to be fearless. You choose to go willingly into the unknown, or you choose to be fearful, and you choose to not do the right, and you choose to not respond to this situation, and so everything's a choice, right? Arguably, and you can choose, and that's because you can choose even the things that happen from the external world. You can choose how you handle those things, and you can choose how much of that stuff can affect you, and that choice can go from difficulty level 0 to difficulty level 1,000, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
most, and then to elaborate on that, forces of nature such as electricity and water will kill you. They're way powerful. However, they always take the shortest route. They always take the easiest route. You can kind of predict where it's going to go. We
Mm-hmm.
have the choice to go the longer route, to go the harder route. And it turns out that in our lives, by choosing to do that and choosing to face hard truths, we're choosing to better ourselves. Who's got the radio on? You know what I mean? We're choosing to be progressive, or choosing to be stagnant. And all of these choices are backed by our knowledge, which is really where our power is. So I just really think people want to educate themselves as much as possible and have a very open mind as they do that. And if there's a large speaker that's blaring one thing, to actually be most skeptical of that thing, so that you can underline your choices with heavy knowledge. And that means lots of options and lots of power to do the right thing and to handle that better. And I would say choosing to come to this mastermind every morning for the last year was the real right choice for me, and has really been a very noticeable, I mean, extremely noticeable effect from that choice, as to where I'm very much more pre-gamed, I'm very much more pre-planned, and as a heavy motorcycle rider, I know that people who know how to crash and have this pre-designed, when I crash, I'm going to do this, survive it many more times than those who don't know how to crash and they just flop around and break every single bone, including their spine, right? So, all this kind of choosing to pregame and choosing to equip yourself, and all these pre-choices are some of the strongest ones, I feel like. So
Wow. Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
and Torch, good morning. Torch
Yeah.
fast.
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna just put one more thing out there. The choice of your surroundings.
Who
You know, what are you around, and what do you truly in your heart want to be around? Right. I think that's, as a human being, is important for your character, and it's important for who you want to be. Right.
and what you
So
put out is going to be a lot of what you put in, isn't it?
yeah,
So good food, good imagery, good thoughts, good people, good company.
yeah, yeah, 100%. So, how about we go Kevin Chop Shop? Power of choice, your decisions, etc.
I don't know. I'm kind of blown away there. I just want to let Brendan go some more. That wasn't a torch pass. That was a torch burning the fucking place down. What
That was
the
good.
hell?
That was good.
That was everything that I was thinking right there, but beautifully packaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you this. When you make a choice to do something, right? In this group here, we're out of the thought. We take our thought and we put it into fruition. So when you make that choice to do something, is that choice correct for you? And is that really what you want to do in your heart? You know what I mean? Because that's how important it is to follow up and do what you truly think is right. Because if it's a halfway, or if it's you know you're not fully ensconced in something, is it the right choice? Right? It's like being a master at something, master something. I'll go back to the professional athlete again. They made that choice to become a straight up professional, the best. I want to be the best at this, right? So that choice, that decision is paramount in life. And, you see people go through life, and some of the people's choices have taken them to really dark, shitty places, where a human being really shouldn't have to go, shouldn't have to experience that pain and all that, that heartache. And that's the power of what I'm saying is that's the power of choice. We made that choice to do that, or we made the choice to do this. You know what I mean? So when you make that choice to do something, make sure it's the right choice. Make sure it's
Well,
the right choice for your heart, right?
that's exactly what I was going to get into, was that,
Yeah.
because as far as the right choices here or there about, I don't know, easy topics, or like the stuff that's kind of in plain sight for me now,
Yeah.
that's all fairly easy. And as far as what Brennan was saying was, like, the levels of being able to deal with stuff, like my choice there is pretty easy. Like I'm able to, you know, make the choice to be happy and make the choice to get past this quick. But the long life changing choices are not the easiest ones to make, and I think those ones need to be well thought out. But I can see that your choices leading up to that big choice should be yeah, should be well thought out as well. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is basically don't make the wrong choices, get your head clear, um you know, do everything that we've been doing
Yeah.
to get to make a proper, you know, non-clouded choice for the big life challenges. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, yeah, it does make total sense because this is exactly, and it's good that everybody's here today for this because that's what bringing people into. We're bringing people into is making their different choices. I'm making a choice to lose weight. I want to make a choice to change my job and do something where I'm happy. I want to make a choice where I'm quitting drinking. I'm making that choice to quit drinking. I'm making that choice to quit and stop doing drugs or smoking. Right? Which these things, when you are having a problem with or struggling with, will ultimately bring you happiness. So that choice of going towards true happiness is that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate choice, right? So, um, you know, when you're sitting there and you're pondering, you're thinking, if we're going back into the thinking stage of doing something, that's actually hilarious because I was just dealt with a girlfriend of mine that she was a raging alcoholic and she's quit. And she's like, I just, you know, I talked to you and you just made it very simple. And she thanked me for not jumping down her throat. And I just said, I'm happier without feeling that way. And she's quit drinking. She quit on the New Year's. She quit on New Year's this year. Hasn't had a drink. And she goes, I made a choice. She goes, I made a choice to stop drinking. And that's how powerful a single choice can change your life. That one choice, or the multiple choices of desecration that you can make daily to make your life miserable. So it's like, you know, those choices in that split second where it's going to take your life in a completely different direction, or you make the positive choices, it's going to take you way up to see the light, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool to see some of the choices that people make.
But
And
it's
especially,
also taking action. Also taking action while making that
yeah,
choice.
the choice.
Make
Yeah,
that choice, but you have to take action at it.
yeah, the choice to take action and doing it. Yeah. Yeah. And seeing what I love about it is seeing like for her, seeing how happy she is. I'm like, oh man, that was just one simple choice she made to do that. And now you see her like she's smiling. I'm like, holy, like, you know, she's just so happy. And to see that out of making a choice and changing your life in and it's in a split second moment, which is really fascinating to me because that split second changes your whole world. It changes your whole world. But you made that decision in a split second. But it creates that split second changes your whole time frame of experiences. So yeah, it's pretty cool. AR the power of choice. I mean, he knows the power of choice.
Oh, absolutely. Listening in, I thought of a Robert Frost poem The Road Less Traveled. And it's about him making the choice to take the road less traveled, and at the end of the poem he says that has made all the difference of taking the road less traveled. And it's about not being a conformist, and taking the road less traveled. I made the decision that is what I want to do with my life. I don't want to follow the herd. I want to go the different route, see the different things, not the mediocrity, not taking the road to mediocrity,
Yes. Yes.
But we are where we are at today as a sum total of the choices we have made,
It's all been the
It's
choices.
all choices, man. There's three constants in the universe. There's change, principle, and choices. For the human being.
And the choices create the change.
The choices create the change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
absolutely. We could always upgrade our choices that we're making and make a decision to make better choices.
Yeah. I was looking at something the other day, and somebody said to me, well, you only have to do that for five minutes a day. I said, 5 minutes? And I was like, well, that isn't very long. She's like, well, how many minutes are you doing it for now? And I'm like, none. I said none. And she's like, well, 5 minutes is quite a bit then. I said, oh. And she said,
make a new habit.
Guaranteed the next time, she said, do it for 10 minutes. She's like, literally set a watch, do it for 5 minutes, put it away, done. And the next time, do it, sit down, do it for 10 minutes, put it away. And she says, well, not guaranteed, but she said, more than likely, the next time you do it, you won't have to set the watch. You'll sit down, and because you've started to do it, you'll be interested, and you'll probably do it for a little bit longer, and then you'll start repeating your habit.
Right. I mean, I've started out with making little choices of waking up in the morning and chugging 30 ounces of water. Yeah. And I've been doing it for so long that it's just automatic. I have the water at the bed.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, it's just right down,
Yeah.
And, habits are just choices that become solidified over time,
Yeah, that power of choice to do something for a very short period of time, just to sit down and make the change to do it. And I was like, oh, damn. I'm like, okay. And I related, because that's a small goal. That's not a goal that's, oh, I got to do that, and it's going to be horrendous. And, wow, I don't, it just, you look at it in this big glob. And she's like, well, don't look at it that way. Don't look at it that way at all. It's like writing a book. Sit down and write your first sentence and walk away.
Right.
But if you just think you're going to sit down and get it all fucking done, that's ambition. You want to get it all done, but that's, not the way to go about it.
It's got to be a type of flow state, especially if you're talking about writing or journaling, just to let it free flow, just get in tune with where your thoughts are at. And then it just spills out. The more freely you allow it to just flow, the more it just flows,
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've made a lot of bad choices in my life. And
cool.
To consciously make the upgrade of being aware when those bad choices pop in my head and say, no, we're not going that way. We're not heading in that direction.
I can't
know,
even
we're not,
comprehend.
we're not moving backwards.
I can't even begin to comprehend the time that has been wasted.
Yeah,
I can't even,
absolutely.
I literally cannot comprehend the time that
Yeah,
I have wasted.
yeah. Well, I've seen drinking and drugs ruin so many lives at this point.
Oh,
It's just, it's absolutely disgusting. I mean,
over the choice of doing it.
over the choice of doing it. Yeah. I mean, it could be argued, is addiction a disease or is it
Yeah.
a choice? It could be argued, is it a disease or a choice?
Well, a lot
Disease,
of
when you say dis-ease, people think, well, the definition for disease is abnormal physiology, right? But in this context, dis-ease means you are not at ease.
Right.
You are
Yeah.
not at ease.
yes.
Being at a
Most
dis-ease.
Most times when someone completely abuses a substance and becomes completely addicted to it like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it can happen to anyone just one time, you know. So many addicts, they just tried something and they're stuck. So you don't want to cross that line. If you've seen this and then you cross that line, so this is the two-part contribution right here. If you've seen this and you cross that line, there's a different consequence for you because you knew better. You know what I mean? And the other thing is that what they want to construct, right, is from the top looking down, is a impoverished situation. And Gandhi says that poverty is the worst form of violence, right, in the world. And it's in generality, I would agree, right? And there's some specific smaller issues out there that are a little bit worse, but you know, we do have Elizabeth Smart in the worst cases and stuff like that. But so poverty is what they want to. All the drugs are accessible in poor neighborhoods, you know. So when we're looking at the underlying issue here, what they want to construct is a situation where you're hopeless, you don't care, you don't have any vision, you're too young and ignorant and uneducated to see possibilities and to construct better choices. This is what the drug business wants, right? And then
they literally take the power of choice away from you.
For so many people. And then before you know it, you're not even 18 and you've already crossed so many lines, you know what I mean, that you don't even care. You just don't care. And that's what they want to do, is actually take away your soul at the end of this, you know? And if you don't care, you must not have a soul, because someone who really has a lot of heart, you know, a lot of soul, they really have a lot of care, you know, they really give a shit. And and they're not fake, you know what I mean? And so, but these people in the greater scheme of things, and you know, this word is a semantic argument in itself, and it detests a lot of people. So don't be distracted from this message about what I'm about to go into. But what's been recognized by the Swedish scientist Kia Karlberg, who has just published this 3 years ago, is that there's a construct in play that selfish people with no soul, they automatically work together and they help each other. And that's the only type of group that would want other people to become selfish and soulless and control freak of exterior rather than interior, right? Because like, if you become a master of self, then you're impervious to this bullshit, which is what it is, you know. But if you're not a master of self and you're still thinking you can control all this stuff, and you're still being a manipulator and a deceiver, which most people graduate from at the 5th grade schoolyard. But if you're still doing that in your adulthood, you know, you're going to likely yourself want the next young person that you're codependent on or whatever to become a drug addict too. That way they stay down there at the bottom with you. you know, because misery loves company, right? And then it just becomes, and then that person is now taking away choices that are around them too. So there's all kinds of levels to the selfish, deceiving, drug dealing dynamic out there, you know. And I think to know what actually happens at the top of the food chain and the drug business, and to know what the mentality there, and to know the sickness there, and to know the grave level of shit that's going on that you with a soul would never do, I think would be something to take a little bit of that ignorance away. But and then to come into contact with this mastermind or someone who cares now, you know what I mean? And listen, like, stick a baby in the jungle. I promise you, it does not survive. So like we need parents, and we deserve people who are, or old heads, let's just say older schoolers. We deserve people to look out for us and equip us with this knowledge that we're trying to give to, you know. There's absolutely no excuse for the rampant drug addiction that's going on all the time. And I'd say most of the people that come out of addiction would say, yeah, if I could somehow get the matrix download of what I know now, I would have never ever stepped anywhere near that shit, right?
Oh, 1000%. If I would never even consider it. I would never even consider it.
Right.
It stole
Yeah.
it literally, you know what it is? It's a thief, a complete thief of true soul and life. It steals it. It steals it from you. It literally, you know what it does? It takes your life.
Yeah. On both sides, selling and consuming.
Yeah.
Let's be very clear here. Anything involved with that chain of events, it will fucking has such a high chance. You can pretty much guarantee it's going to steal a serious chunk of your life away, you know.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to be that guy that grabs people and shakes the shit out of them. You know what I mean? When they're 15 and says, fuck no, man. Don't even go down that road. It's 12, 13 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot more complex too. You could get into this, and I'm just gonna say the pain and the discomfort and the desecration that's out there at this particular moment, I would be lost for words. I'd be lost for words. It's so horrendous and so mind-blowing of a situation that it's uncomprehendable. You know, it just it gets to a point. It's yet well, AR knows it gets to a point where you cannot comprehend it. It's so fucking.
Right.
It's uncomprehendable. You don't even
You
know
know, I'm amazed at how early kids are starting these days. I mean, I get it because I started pretty early myself, you know, with stealing beers and you know, joints out of ashtrays and stuff like that. But today is a lot more synthetic drugs, and they're all over the place. The pills, oh man, I was blown away to see how many kids these days do stuff like Xanax. What a horrible drug. And you know, tons of people overdosing, and you know, obviously the fentanyl is huge, and I don't understand why they're putting it in drugs like Coke. People are sniffing what they're thinking is Coke and have an overdose on fentanyl. I heard that a grain of salt size of fentanyl could make you overdose. Are you going to trust a dope dealer to distribute that correctly? Hell no. That's why people are dropping dead all the time, man.
It starts way
That.
earlier than that, though. It starts way earlier. If you look at Disney movies, I'm watching Disney movies with my
Yeah.
kids, and they're in the one movie, it's a dinosaur and this young kid, and they're looking for food, and then they find some rotten fruit, and then they're freaking sitting there freaking happy as a day, and everything starts going all wonky like they're on mushrooms, and
Yeah, you're
and
right.
it was all it was. I mean, it's not. No, it is fucking terrible. But
It is
it,
terrible.
it, it, it showed them like how fun and cool it was, but it also showed them like crashed out in the morning, So, but at the same time, like that's how early it starts, or it starts with, having, stealing your dad's beers. You're watching your dad drink. Oh, fuck, I want to try that. You have a beer. Like, fucking, I had a full bar at my house. Like, I couldn't even tell you how young I was. My babysitter, when I was like in grade 1, was giving me alcohol to calm my shit down. But she's like hardcore German, so that's just what they did, I guess. I don't know, but that's
Yes,
it starts much younger than that. Now it's like I'm not gonna say the word upgrade, but what would be a better word from that? We've gone from watching Disney movies where people are constantly getting drunk or they're getting high or and it's supposed to be nice and cute, but then it evolves into something else, and then it evolves into something else. When I grew up, there was weed and there was alcohol, and that's basically all there was. There was no other drugs, and then all of a sudden mushrooms come in, and then you start this and that, and you know what I mean. It's just you're not upgrading, but I don't know, growing up. I guess you're growing up into harder shit. It's just the
Yeah.
way it
You
is.
know, it's
And the fucking like this stuff's been so glorified and like
yes.
praised. And like the hard part is like, like I had a lot of really successful, yeah, get it, AR. Fuck, guy's jacked. Yeah. I've had a lot of really successful people, like like everyone watched The Wolf of Wall Street, and I guess you see how much money. Yeah, that's actually kind of a perfect example, because you can see the evolution of that drug. Like these guys, where this guy came up and he was the most amazing seller around, and he grew this massive ass fucking business, but he took on a mentor that like did drugs every day, and he got better and better and better until the drugs took over his life and destroyed everything and ruined everything. So I mean, it's a perfect example. It's just I get pissed off because the guy still glorifies it, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah. You know what's
yeah, I don't
really,
know.
now that we're into this conversation, I remember my first drink. And I don't even know, if we're almost they create a choice for us, which is fucking scary. That is, and you know what? Alcohol ruined, fucking ruined my life. Ruined it. And that choice was created for me. I'm sorry to say. I was
I wouldn't say that
15.
it I wouldn't say
I
that
was
it
15.
created the choice for you, but it definitely, like I said with the cloud, right?
Yeah, the cloud.
It
Okay,
clouded your
cloud.
choices. It clouded your choices. It clouded um your way of thinking and your way of
Oh,
reacting, and your
yeah.
action. It took, sometimes it takes your action away, or sometimes it gives you the action to do the wrong thing, but either way it's the wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It took me, stole decades of my life though. Right.
yes.
So, um, you know, yeah, it's such a, now that I'm sitting here, I'm almost overwhelmed with, how detrimental and what the scarcity and the magnitude of the problem that is out there. We have a fucking problem on our hands. A massive problem of poison.
yeah, it's so easy to be an alcoholic because there's a liquor store on almost every street corner, and it's cheap, it's easy to get, and it's highly addictive. I mean, I've seen some people you know, coming off of alcohol that have to be hospitalized, you know,
Oh, the
because it
DTs,
brings
of
you,
course. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
delirium tremors. They're real deal, you know.
So yeah,
I
go ahead, Kev.
But now there's weed places on every corner to go with the liquor stores, and then the convenience stores have nothing but what? Salt, sugar,
Sugar.
tobacco, and caffeine, and
Another
sugar. You know,
more drugs, more drugs.
more drugs,
Man,
more
in
drugs.
there is. In the airports here, that's all there is. There's candies
Drugs.
and liquor bottles for the cheap price. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they make you go through the store
Duty free.
to get
This is serious.
Huh?
This is very serious thing. I'm starting to just sit here, process this.
that,
And that's why
that
we're that's why we're building this
oh,
community. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. I like that reason. And what you said about being controlled, I'm sorry, but I was controlled at 15. That's true. And I know so many people that are controlled on both sides of it, like because being from New Mexico, we're surrounded by Indian reservations. And dude, as soon as you get off the Indian reservation, all there is a fucking liquor store, dude. And you could get cheap cigarettes there. Okay, great. But that's all there is for miles and miles and miles. You know, there's not even a grocery store has been established there, not even by the own people. And then what business comes up next? Casino
Whoa.
comes up
What
next,
the
right?
fuck?
And so, yeah, and so, yeah, but then, so now when if you keep a population in poverty like Albuquerque, right?
Yeah.
Dude, everybody's in the fucking, almost everybody is in the, if you see a population like that, I mean, pretty much you're on one side or the other, but you're in that business likely, or you're just not doing well. You're not going to drive the Lexus. You're not going to, you know what I mean? You're not going to have the quality of life. You're just not, you know, you're going to be a slave for someone who does. And so, like, and Billy the Kid was just there 100 years ago, right? So it's just like, man, that to me, I like what you said as far as like that being a reason of why we do this, because man, like for me anyway, and it sounds like hocus pocus to some people, but man, the fucking devil's real. And once you've seen enough evil, and once you understand it enough, you'll realize there's somebody walking around showing this and pulling the strings and telling and recruiting and you know, it's fucking wildly. I salute God way more. But wow, it's wildly impressive how effective if you really think about it, man. It's nearly impossible to pull off what's been pulled off, and now you have this very small percentage of people who have all the money and all the resources, and they just fuck us over and pump us full of fucking drugs. And Barnum and Bailey have been saying this, and the Emperor of Rome has been saying this. You know, it's a way to control people, and that's what I mean. That's why I love what you just said.
It does. And it's not. I'll just say. I'll just go back to what you said. It might sound like hocus pocus, or whatever. No, the devil's real. It's evil. And if now you just said controlling, if you think about that, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing when you're drinking? Absolutely fuck all. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. What are you doing?
Your wife or some shit, you know, maybe.
Well, you're definitely
family.
You're definitely sitting there.
Shouldn't be doing anything.
If
you're doing something, that means you're drinking while you're on the job, drinking while you're.
You definitely shouldn't. But check that out. You definitely shouldn't be doing anything. Holy fuck.
Well, if you really want to look at it, like go like I'm just thinking right now, like go find a place where all the like the rich people live, or the very nice communities, okay? So I'm thinking to myself right now, as I go to that place where these people are in their big fucking mansions, I'm driving past liquor stores, bars, weed shops, da 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 da, and as I get closer, they start disappearing. And then
Yep.
what do you see? You see a golf cooking club, you see a fucking really nice restaurant, you see more grass, you see more lake, and then all of a sudden you get the mansions.
Whoa.
So think about
Good
that for a
point.
fucking second. I can think of two places around me that as you fucking get closer and closer to these people that are successful, all this shit starts disappearing, and all you see is country clubs and freaking I'm not saying they don't do anything bad at country clubs, but
Yeah,
these guys are going and
yeah.
playing golf, and they don't have a weed shop or a liquor store at every convenience store around them. Like, people don't want that around them. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
looking at it
no.
now. Like, I
I
don't see that shit if I really think about it.
yeah, now that I'm thinking about this though, but this community is saying to people, uh, that is the 1%. It is a true statement. It's a true statement. And we're saying to the world that you don't have to be caught up in that push down. That's what we're saying. That's the message. That's the
I think
message.
the
You don't have to be.
message that
Go
works,
ahead.
too. I think that's the message that works too. Is like,
Yeah.
man, because I've experimented with some of my friends that have problems. Like, yeah, you're part of a control design, right? And you're just a slave, and you have to, you know what I mean? I can go eat whatever food, but you need that. You have to have that, and they got the mark, So you're a slave to that. You've been caught by a fish.
We're losing you, buddy.
Dude, and I think maybe that's the, like, I don't know, but like, you're actually being controlled by someone. It's personal.
Yeah, it is. If you think how that's off the hook. You know what I mean? That's off the hook. Now that I'm gonna reflect on this today, and this actually gets me very motivated to get our app up and running and getting people in talking about this and building a massive community that starts spreading the word on this and starts talking about this in a major way, right? And saying, yeah, what is going on? We're putting vape pens in our kids' mouths. We're what are we doing? What are we doing? It's absolutely horrendous. Talk about skull and crossbones, man. Talk about skull and
Right.
crossbones, It's just what it is. It's a slow poison.
Man, I seen
It
one of
might
those
not be.
burpee figures putting on his Instagram the other day.
We're losing you, Brandon. What is it? What is
I think
AR?
we're losing me.
AR has been sitting up there listening. He's a listener. What does he have to say on this?
AK or AR?
Or I mean AK. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
I thought you were talking about AK.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, the power of choice, there's that inherent freedom to choose, a right or wrong decision, or just a decision. And then, at the core of that, I feel like that's where the growth is. Because, some people like to blame God for things that have happened. It's like, no, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, gives us this choice of free will so we can learn and grow, from the feedback.
Yes.
If it's fail,
Yes.
or if it's, something that works for us. And then the power of choice with respect to wanting to change your life, well, you have to, consciously make those right decisions. And, know that, you know, you're not going to get upfront feedback that it was a good, that you were, you know, making positive change. But if you know that the whatever choice you took should get you, you know, to a better version of yourself, then it's worth putting your faith into that and seeing it through. You know, a lot of people get hung
Yeah.
up on not getting the results fast enough or whatever, blah blah blah, and they give up,
Yeah.
which just fuels the negative fire. So,
Yeah.
and then you have person that like us, you know, where our choices are autonomous, you know, these right choices. We don't even realize it, you know, that's just our lifestyle. It's just our modus operandi, so to say, right? So,
Whoa. Yeah.
and then that kind of, the people around us see us make these good choices, and it gets contagious, you know, for others to, you know, they see the positive change happening or the way we are with respect to where they live, and they get interested in it.
Yeah.
And then you have the empowerment of these positive choices and checking off these boxes daily, right? And that's where that true freedom lies, and making the right choices and not being bogged down by negative self-serving choices that basically ruin
Whoa.
people's lives or severely hinder their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. No, and this is how how we look at it. If we can change somebody's choice from a young, let's say a young person, 21, and we can say, hey, you can make this choice here, or this is the other choice that you can make, and you don't ever even have to experience
Right.
evil, I would say, pretty much evil, and live that life. That's the best gift in the world.
Really is.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate gift? Like, I can't even fathom where it's like, yeah, that's not good for you. That's not, you know, and you build a community so big that it's like, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. That takes you there, motherfucker. That takes you down to where it's burning. You want to
Takes you down
burn?
to Frown Town.
Yeah, more, you know,
Fucking just
but
more sad, right?
you think about the
Oh
sadness and
God.
the sadness that right now, as we're sitting here, the sadness and pain that's going on in prisons across the world due to the power of choice of alcohol and drugs. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
that
99%
business,
of the prison population, right?
that business is
That,
built on it. The judicial
yeah.
system, the prison system is built on drugs and alcohol.
You know what I think it is
For sure.
people that end up in prison, or people who are doing these things or whatever, is trying to fast track through life to success. So your choices will lead to your success, but when you end up in jail, is, you know, you're trying to sell drugs, or, you know, you're trying to fast track through life to become successful. But like for me, like the end goal is like success and money. I mean, well, I shouldn't say money, but like happiness. So like for me, financial freedom. I'm not gonna say money,
Yeah.
because money don't mean shit, but
Yeah.
financial freedom, success, being able to do what I want to do, being able to help others with, you know, whatever the money that I have
Yes.
to be able to help. But
Yeah.
if it was clear set that, you know, early on in life or wherever, that, you know, if I follow this path, making my right choices, my good choices, that I will get that. And but you
Yeah.
cannot fast track it. You will get it making good choices. So like it comes down to like that millionaire thing that I keep trying to say, is like, you can be successful, you can have everything you want, but you have to make the right choices going forward to that. And people either fast track it, or or like AK said, is that you're not seeing the results. You're not seeing the results, so then you go back to your own way. So like if you're to pick up a fucking beer, and anytime you picked up a beer, someone be like, you know what, I'll trade you $100 for that beer. You know, you pick up the joint, I'll trade you $100 for that joint. I'd take that all day long. But
That's exactly what it
that's
is.
that's exactly how it goes down though. Like, because if you're gonna you trade the drugs in, and you trade the alcohol in, and you trade whatever bad habits you have in for money, that's exactly what you're doing. You're trading this shit in for success. You're trading this in for peace. You're trading this in for all this shit. So, and that's what you need to. That's what people really need to fucking ingrain in their head, that you know, this is what you can trade up to. This is what you're trading for. So, and for me, that's the biggest thing, because it's so easy. Okay, well, like, I'll grab a beer, you know, no big deal. It's not gonna do anything, you know. Whatever. Like, I'm only gonna party on the weekends, you know. Blah 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 blah. And you trade that shit in for fucking peace and success. This is you have to keep that fucking ingrained in your head, that that's how the shit works.
Kevin, dude, that is the best analogy I have heard since I've started a mastermind. That is absolute, total truth and fire. Right. And I saw AR listening to that. I saw him
Mine was
listening.
blown. I seen that too.
What? What did
Yo,
AK say?
I can't hear you guys for some reason. I just got a call. I took it. And now I can't hear you guys.
Oh, okay. You
Do you
missed
know
out.
how I
Yeah, go up to the top, Aaron. Up to the top left.
What's that?
You'll hit it. It's up on the top left. You're probably not on speaker. You're on iPhone. You should be on speaker.
Left. Top
Yeah,
left.
just
Bam, man.
tap it.
Thank you. I can faintly hear you.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to the iPhone ear speaker and doesn't go to the, you know, where it gets loud. So I don't know.
Right.
What do you think of that analogy, AK? What do you think of the analogy that Kevin just put out there?
Yeah, spot on, you know. Especially what kind of what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what happened? Brandon dropped off? I know. I wanted to hear what Aaron thought, because Aaron looked like he had an epiphany there.
Did you hear what Kevin said or not?
Unless you were, Aaron,
No,
you
he
looked
was
like
on
you
a
were.
phone.
I was on a phone call, man.
He was on a
Oh,
phone.
dude, he just missed out on the.
Was I still being recorded and everything?
No, dude, but he just missed out on something just absolute killer, man. Oh my god! But yeah,
Can we redo it?
Next up, we're gonna turn the
Yeah,
clock into the 1970s. I got some of your kind of thing here. Eric Clapton first.
we're just getting bombarded.
You're whatever you're listening to.
Anyways, guys, it's been a killer meeting, and trading in drugs and alcohol for success is the key point to this whole meeting at the end. It's the truth. It's so raw and so real that my mind is absolutely blown away. You trade those bad habits in for financial freedom from a very young age, and you will live a phenomenal life. So if you can take that message and really, like you say, ingrain it into your mind, I'm gonna have a phenomenal day today thinking about this, because that's the message. That's a message to parents that are maybe watching this, to young adults that are watching this. Trade the drugs and the booze in for financial freedom and happiness. Period. Don't go down that road of that thieving of life. That thief of life. So it did to me. Stole my life, stole part of my life. Now I'm getting it back.
It steals your consciousness too.
Yeah. But what?
Living in a selfish state of I need, I want.
Oh yeah. But how Kevin put it, Aaron, you on a phone call, but how Kevin put it was every time you drink a beer, think of that as trading that in for $100 bill. Living a peaceful
It's stealing your time, man.
and your
It
money.
is a thief.
It's a
Yeah.
thief of your
time and money.
financial freedom and your happiness.
I
Yeah.
can't even imagine where I'd be at had I never done drugs or alcohol. Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like I came up with this funny line. It goes, the only thing between you and $1 million is your shitty habits.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's basically
those
what
shitty
Kevin just said
choices.
there. The only difference is just these fucking bad habits that steal
The
money,
only
time,
thing-
everything away. Basically, it's stealing time, because time, is the one resource you could never get back. Money you can always get back. Time you can't.
Yeah. And your soul.
You
And
fuck,
your
well,
soul.
yeah, exactly. Your soul,
Steals your
yeah,
soul.
takes a. Yeah, you
Your
get to
heart.
a point and there's no redemption on your soul. You get to a point where it's just like, fuck.
So
I mean-
hey, let me tell you about the phone call real quick. The guy that I'm working with, he's on his third drunk driving, and his color was called, so he has to go do a breathalyzer today. Choices, right? Choices. But he blacked out and went for a drive and got his third drunk driving. I'm like, yeah, well, that's what
That's
happens when
fucking
you're an
scary,
alcoholic.
dude.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad he wasn't with his fucking daughter.
Right? Yeah.
Or glad he didn't meet a fucking light pole or something,
And he's
That's-
fighting to have his
I
kid.
tell him it could have always been way worse, but you got
Yeah.
off with a simple drunk drive. Thank you.
Yeah,
I see-
so that's
I seen this guy on the news the other day. He got his 12th OWI.
What's that?
Well, he's
I said
just
I
an
see a
idiot.
guy-
Well,
I see, yeah.
That's
what
not even
Wisconsin's
his fault
for.
at this point. That's not even his fault at this point. That's fucking society's fucking fault at this point. Fucking
Well,
letting
he
that
was
shit
like,
fucking happen
he
over
was
and
like
over again.
revoked
Yeah.
after his like fourth, so he should never have been driving. He should
No.
never been. He just,
How
He
the
shouldn't even
fuck
be
is he?
fucking around. He should be in fucking jail for fuck's sakes.
he should.
That
He
shit
should be
pisses
in
me the
fucking
fuck
prison.
off. Now I'm
It's a
pissed off.
moneymaker. It's a moneymaker. Yeah, it's bullshit.
It is total. What is that even? I can't even believe that's allowed. That's crazy.
Right? It's fucking fucked up.
Well, the power of choice, right?
yeah.
Like,
I fucking
Insane.
choose to fucking take his fucking head off is what I do.
well, this is the All In Within Mastermind crew. Signing
Coming
off
at you
with-
hot from Monday. I gotta go work
How
on
it
pissed
is.
off now.
The
Don't
power of
drink and
choice
drive.
and leaving substance and all the bullshit behind, and choosing success, the power of success, and looking for seeking financial freedom and happiness. So we'll leave it at that. Peace
Beautiful.
out, guys. Appreciate it, and right on.
Good one.
Right on.
Good one.
Have a good day.